Punctuality is an essential quality if you want to make it big in the acting world. Without it, you won't be able to keep on top of all the work you need to do each day. Well, first I'd like you to answer me one question. How many pigeons flew from the bridge when you were passing through? Huh? Yes, that's right. I'm amazed. Are you this good at everything? Anyway, the point of this question was to test your powers of observation. Eyes are the medium for the transfer of emotion. You must train your eyes to be bright, active, and strong. Watching the birds fly, hover around, and come into land will not only exercise your eyesight, but also cultivate attentiveness. Indeed, my own daily training routine starts right here. I watch the pigeons to train my eyes, and I sing to the tide to train my voice. All in good time. Grasping all the techniques involved in opera singing and posture is not an overnight process. Let's start from the very beginning, with some general theories to help you better understand the concept of performance. Of course, I am in written correspondence with performers from many nations in Teyvat, which has rather broadened my perspective on this topic. For example, let's start with something simple. How would you perform yourself? Try to relive the events of that day when you were battling against an ancient god and fighting off the Fatui. What can you see? What did you feel? Now, I want you to look out at the ocean in front of you and recall the raging waves and the atmosphere of peril from that day. Take a deep breath. Now, gradually, embrace the scene, immerse yourself in it, and let all the emotions back in. Good, good. So that's how you felt. Next, I'd like you to focus on the goal you wanted to achieve at that time. Good, yes. Use that. Okay, good. Now, all of this overwhelming emotion is welling up inside of you, and I want you to let it all out. All at once. Go. Stop. Wrong. This is all wrong. There's no emotion, no soul. Granted, the character you are trying to portray is your own self, but your performance didn't do the scene justice at all. I couldn't hear you fighting for your life while gargantuan waves were crashing all around you. What I heard was the sound of someone doing vocal exercises by the beach on a calm day. Here's the thing. When you're acting, it's not only about getting into character, you also have to recreate the scene in your mind as vividly as you can. Now, I appreciate that you did actually experience this particular scene for yourself, but maybe conjuring up specific details of your surroundings at the time is a little too advanced for novices. You're right. If we were looking for an environment to help evoke the emotions you felt at the time, I suppose we could try again, a little farther afield, at Guyunstone Forest. Oh? Too far away? Don't worry, I was just thinking aloud. Besides, even at Guyunstone Forest, we'd still have trouble recreating the state of the sea that day. Let's try something else. Come with me to the suburbs just north of Liyue Harbor. If you've got no objections. The battle you fought on the Jade Chamber was a very strange set of circumstances, even for someone like you. It's quite normal that you can't get into character just like that. I know it's hard to recreate every facet of the experience, but what you could try is to replace the foes you faced in that scenario with ones you are much more familiar with. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're performing a scene where your character experiences the grief and pain of a death, but you yourself have never experienced this kind of tragic loss before. Well, you can replace death with another, more familiar scenario that evokes a similar sense of grief and pain for you, such as... you bust a gut trying to find a treasure chest, only to finally reach it and find it filled with cabbages and radishes. Ah, now you're catching on. Action scenes work the same way. Perhaps the experience of facing an ancient god is a challenge to recreate. But if you're replaying the kind of actions you perform every day, you just need to let go, and your subconscious will guide you through. Come, show me how you normally fight. You can start with monsters nearby. They're coming. Just do what you normally do in this situation. Yeah, time to rock! Yeah. 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 Pyrotechnics. Yeah.
Animo hypostasis emulation. Absorption test. Animo test 6308.
Oh, that was wonderful. Such deft and fluid movements. Just like a real adventure. Let's perform the scene again now, while the battle is still fresh in your mind. Look at those red-clad scarecrows. But I want you to see them instead as those Fatui who brandish the sacrificial knives. Now, let us reenact the battle on the Jade Chamber. It's okay if you can't recall the events clearly. You can just replace them with the movements you are most familiar with. And... attack! The 3 Adepti are manning the Guizhong ballistas. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work.